Hey, salutations, blessings. Stone Style, man, I got another one. This particular one is a cease and desist. Okay. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't know what desist meant until I looked at it on, um, for studying credit and stuff, right? And so I've heard of cease and desist, but I never really like saw the word. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever sent me no cease and desist. But when you send into the credit organizations to tell them to stop broadcasting your name and stuff like that, or your on your credit profile, then you sending like cease and desist letters. And so it was tripped out to kind of be able to see that the desist. And so this is where that comes from. So check this out. Um, I want you guys to cease and desist in spending. All right, we're going. This is a cease and desist talk. Cease and desist spending. And unless you're going uh, already to eat, she can come. All right, but all that, calling just to see if she want to, eat, or she want to go out and stuff like that in order to, or bowl, whatever it is, cease and desist. Any of the spending money, especially if you're not where you supposed to be, and that's relative to your life. So everybody knows where they would like to be. So uh, now she can't judge if you desire to do something or you want to go somewhere. We need individuals that are going to be open to our plans and our desires and the places that we deem fit to go. Because everywhere you don't need to go, and especially if you guys, not you guys, but typically you as the man, if you grinding something out and you hashing something out and you got this plan and you've been sticking with it and you've been disciplined, man, the broad don't have to be disciplined. The ladies, they don't have to be as disciplined as we do. And so you have to commit to the things that you know that you have to do. There are some women and stuff, yes, that are much more disciplined than others. There's levels to this. But just know that typically, a lot of times, you are going to be the individual who has to be a lot more motivated, a lot more disciplined, a lot more focused than she will be. So just keep that in mind. But cease and desist the tricking. All right, cease and desist the tricking. We're not gonna just be going out spending money and stuff like that. All the dinner dates past, 100, 200, $300, or more. Some people spend. Cease and desist, man. If this is not your girl already, cease and desist those big dinner dates. You got family members and stuff like that need help. You got people in college and stuff, that you may know, that may be your family members or something. You need stocks and stuff that you can invest in for your children. Buy you some doggone Nvidia stock. You know, there's a plethora of things that you can do with that bread to have it to be able to go further, especially if you're not what we are considered like, a millionaire already or something like that. If you are a thousandaire, we need to be attempting to get to millionaire status, so we need to stay focused. So I am increasing um, my vocab every day with these talks and these some what I say lectures. So with some of these conversations and things like that we actually have that we enjoy, uh, it's like you use different words in order to express yourself, in order to get your point across. So this is a advantage that it gives you. It gives you a supreme advantage so that you'll be able to conversate. And you guys probably need to make sure you conversating with the individuals that you know. Try your best to sharpen your vocab with, your brothers or your sisters or your mom. And, you have these conversations so that you'll be able to express yourself when you do get around the ladies that you so desire. So, man, you come all ye elite and get this game. Come all ye elite and come get this game. You see, my game is getting sharper by the minute, by the second, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, And so we progress, man. The more you learn, the more you know, the more you can do, the more you can say, the more you can teach, the more everyone as a whole and a collective around you can grow. And it's kind of a big deal. It's my mentor, Dion Coop, said, if you doing good, then they talking about you. If you doing bad, then they talking about you still. So go ahead and get paid while they while they talking. He right. So um, he and I came up from the streets of Chicago, you know, and it's just a lot of things that you see, that you start understanding. Like, man, this is serious. Life is serious. So I can't keep wasting resources on females that don't like me or that are not showing me any amount of respect. And when I say respect, I mean in a manner of, hey, letting you know that, hey, they're for you and they're not for others, or they're for you and they desire to do you good. Like, so you have to cease and desist, with being there or being in their presence or being in the presence of anybody that is not effectively attempting to do right by you. I say it like that. So that's for men and women. I see. Now, you guys know, like, they don't teach this stuff at school, but man, I was actually watching Rosebud as well, and the stuff he was saying is right, because he was saying that it's an attack on masculine men, and they want to feminize the culture, but a lot of the men are saying the same thing. Even shout out to Dennis Berlin, the lead attorney, all of the brothers, if they're conscious enough, you know what I'm saying, they're speaking in the realm of the things that's going on in totality with this culture, this Western culture where we actually in, and how it's affecting masculinity as a whole. Because they were saying, how it was when they were coming up, and how the P were, how the game was and stuff, and so some of the things Rosebud was saying, though, was, he said, thinking fast is a key component of courage. When you doing fast, when you thinking fast and you go ahead and act, you can act with courage. But a lot of times, if you slow and thinking things, supremely through, sometimes it might make you make a halt, because you think of all the things that could possibly go wrong. So what comes from the heart reaches the heart, man. You're gonna understand if it's so what he said is, act immediately. Momentum equals confidence. So you can get a lady if you move with momentum. If you like her, if you see her, if you want her, you know what I mean? Hey, man, take a bite of cocoa or something. You know what I'm saying? In the morning, I brought you a little one. I brought an extra one, and I'm just, I feel real good today. And so this may contribute to it. I want you to have a good day, so I brought you one as well. Cheers. Something as simple as that, So, uh, like I said, momentum equals confidence to get the lady. It helps. Confidence in your job and your career, whatever it is that you want to do. Speaking of careers and things like that, to show y'all right quick, I had my OG that copied the chat. I even copied the chat, man. Yeah. This is from my mentor's chat, and we was giving the game and stuff, and they were having all the individuals, so I took some screenshots and stuff and had them printed out, because I don't want to miss not a nugget of valuable information that may be valuable in my own life, that can change my life or get me, motivate me to become a better person or get to the next level, right? So uh, don't hang with cupcakes unless you want to be a baker. Shout out to Rosebud. He said that. Don't hang with cupcakes unless you want to be a baker. Look, cupcakes mean simps, lame stuff. You know what I'm saying? You could be lame, and I don't want to say lame because lame might just mean you just might not, have no game. When you simping on the broad like that, simp is worse than being a lame. Being a cup is worse than being a lame. You understand? So all the simping and stuff, man, must stop. Y'all got to start coming down harder and harder on guys that's simping. And so, you know, it's a lot of different ways in which people call things, but it may and may not be simping. And so sometimes you got to know, with your definitions and stuff like that. But nevertheless, don't hang with cupcakes unless you want to be a baker, man. You gotta get you some masculine brothers, that you like, and you want to hang out with them. That's what you want to do. You want to make sure you're around individuals that are challenging you, but in a manly way. You see what I mean? So y'all consider that. All right. Your wardrobe, you gotta boost that wardrobe up. You gotta make sure your jewels and stuff is shining. You want to make it, man, have a clean whip. You understand? A lot of times, we can fall behind on some of these things. I understand, and it really does. It takes a little while in order to kind of get to get these things in sequence and everything working together. Like, it's not all the time just an easy feat, to get your car clean and get your get your gym membership and get your bread and stuff, have some money in your pocket, have some honey, have some some decent credit. So these are things that you want to work on, man. And I got that sauce for a boss. So, even if you need your credit help, if you want to talk and stuff like that, man, I'm be leaving a link so that you guys be able to talk to me. And of course, it's gonna cost. I ain't just doing this, for free and stuff like that. Man, everybody had to pay. Even with myself, man, I spent over 10K in mentorships. Um, but it's actually, I have to count the mentorship that I've done before, because I would like to make sure that I insert all the other things that I potentially had to do, and that I've done before this particular mentorship. So, um, men and women, stop chasing and start building. Cease and desist with the chasing. All right, let them chase you. You see what I'm saying? Let them chase you. That's why the shirt say that. If you look at it, she gonna say chase. Yeah, chase, self-chase. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a little psychic development thing and stuff like that. Watch what putting out, putting on. Develop a purpose and stop being distracted. Get you a purpose, get you something that you desire, something that you like, something that you appreciate. Whatever moves your heart that's good and pure and positive and righteous. Just like me talking about the females. This is a life altering thing, and I wish that I could have had even more conversations than I did. Now, I was laced. Blessed be the name of the Lord. I'm appreciative to the fact that I was laced, but sometimes I was potentially laced, and now that I think about it, sometimes you know, when your dad, if he is around, or you had a YouTube, or something like that, you get more. You only going to get the game from the individuals you around. So if your pop is not necessarily around, then you getting the game from the individuals, your uncles. You looking at all them, which we were. Some of my uncles were pimps. Pimpish. Some was players. Some was tricks. You see what I'm saying? And so we had all kinds of things that we were seeing and learning. And you had to adapt and try to see which way you actually wanted to go. Yeah, man. So cease and desist on the spending, right? I get to geek it in there and be said. But yeah, man. If you gotta have boundaries and rules and educate education can well educate being educated on the situation can save you, but your boundaries and rules and can save you. So confidence comes as action is put forth. So the more that you do and the more that you accomplish, the more that you'll be and understanding that whatever else that you can accomplish, it'll give you the ability to move forward and the confidence to move forward. Um, and Rosebud was saying what the OPs did, like, and RP Kenny Red, he was talking about Don Juan, he was talking about Virgil, Andre Taylor, how he be preaching and stuff like that. He didn't mention Sinful or shout out to Freeze or some of the young guys and stuff like that. The other pays and stuff like that. But um, you know, when we, which reminds me, ensure that you break on the bitch. Shout out to Aaron the plumber. You know, now Woody had been locked up potentially so long that Woody may not have understood how to break on the bitch and did not care about breaking on the bitch. Woody was actually only interested in punani, pretty much, on the on the pop the balloon thing, and I thought it was pretty humorous and stuff to watch while I was doing my workout and cleaning up and things like that in my practice, and so I do, but I would have to tell Woody, man, I'm like, man, hey, cease and desist, you know, yeah, but I understand everybody have their place and stuff like that that they are, So, but shout out to Aaron the plumber because he was trying to break him on pop the balloon. I not seen one female gay really like 500. But I don't believe he really asked for it. But all I'm saying is I've seen that a lot of the disrespectful traits that the females had. A lot of time he was bypassing according to their figure and stuff like that and their look, and how pretty they toes was. And I'm a sucker for toes and stuff like that myself. But a lot of times, man, if they have those qualities and attributes of not listening to you when you asking them to do little simple stuff. Come here, baby. Why I'm coming here for? Oh no, red flag. Hey, spin around. Let me get a 360. I don't spin around for nobody. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that was being said. Woody was still keeping them. And so I'm noticing, like, man, everybody needs this game. Everybody needs this game because though the game provides a standard for you so that you don't live there and attempt to uh, over deliver or overcompensate, or compensate at all. There should be no, when you say compensation, man, the only compensation is the situation of us being in each other's company, baby. You see what I mean? It's a you if she don't feel like it's a blessing to be around you, and she can't get the jewels and the gems that you able to drop, and she don't feel like your mind is prolific, then maybe that's not maybe the girl for you. So cease and desist on spending on that shit for real. I'm talking about. And listen, man, some of you guys need fast girls. Wait, it's in here somewhere. So let me slow down. All right, but cease and desist on spending too much on the chick. All right, it says that here. So shout out to Aaron the plumber on Pop the Balloon for trying to break the chick on the balloon pop. That was honorable. If you a trick and you know it, clap your hands. I learned from P's, Tricks, and other players, but we're gonna cease and desist on that niceness. All right. The smiling with the brow, cease and desist. The laughing with the brow, cease and desist. You must act like a king. And it's not that we don't enjoy ourselves and stuff like that, you know. but it's having a more serious demeanor when you're around, especially around hoes. All right. Now, when you find that a woman is more, godly, or man, is she wearing, dresses, listen, man, we got some serious game. Boy, like I can't. I have to put the book together with all the notes, but I got some elite notes that I wrote. Sometimes you do the comparative analysis between you and the other pickup artists. Remember they had that big book, The Game, and so I have so many things and stuff like that, even back then, and notes and stuff that I'm compiling, and it's just hours on hours on hours of studying. Just like I had to do in order to learn the stock. I traded stocks. Made about 1,700 off Sprint. Um, Made $728 one time up on a scissors lift. Trade on the scissors lift, because a lot of times they wanted you to be doing something, and so I'll act like I was doing something, and then I had my other phone, and I lay up there and pulled that phone out and was trading and stuff and doing whatever it was that I was doing on my phone, and put those shares in. It doesn't take real long in order for your order to be uh, taken when that market first opened. So it was our time, but it's probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30 or something like that, or 8, whatever it was, and I was there for the market open, and laid up there and really did get my shares in. I think it was at a 328 or something like that. And I bought as many shares as I could, and that boy went up to like 367 or something like that, and it was crazy. I don't know what it actually went up to, but in that 15-25 minutes, man, I made like $700, and I did that a couple times. So it was a blessing, man. Sprint, yep. The S was the symbol back then, the ticker symbol. So anyway, cease and desist on spending too much, man. You know, you'll be surprised at the end of the year. When you taking girls out to eat, what they say, spending money on these pros. Taking lays out and stuff like that. And if it's not for business, and you just doing it just to be able to potentially date the chick, man, you will have been and gone through so much bread and so much money, you know, that that could be one or two shares or something of a stock that can carry you through, and help you in the end. So it's, you know, something to think about, man. So, I got this in here, and man, when you say cease and desist on the cap, when she capping on you, cease and desist, like, because she'll cap you down, right? She'll be acting like she really like you, and you know, but they said capping me down, you won't never be claimed, you know, and that's for real. If she capping on you, man, if she acting like she like you, or posing as if she did, she didn't gave you the number, or y'all in a relationship and she was doing these things, but now, they change, and try to understand, why these things are happening, and try to have a conversation, and try to, have a peaceful, loving conversation about why things may be changing. But respect is the key. All right, respect is key, and so godly, loving the Lord, but respect is key. You know, and it say know how to cook and clean, and if they know how to cook and clean, then you should be able to do everything else. And so I need her to be willing to listen and pay attention. Also, her being self-sufficient is something that is desirable. It make me think that she really like me, when they're nice, when they're pleasant, and so I want her to make me think, act like you really like me. You know what I mean? Hey, it's okay to be infatuated with your potential man, ladies. All right. And trust me, brother, you can find you one that'll be infatuated with you. You're gonna have to do a lot of looking, but they out there, man. So be encouraged, all right? But cease and desist spending the money on the hoes, all right? Until you put her to a test. All right. Determine your type for where you are in life and what you desire, even if it's for the moment. Just know what you desire. Am I looking for a loose chick? Am I looking for a stand-up woman? Am I looking for? And so that's where you want to go. You have to take cater the places that you go to the places that a woman like that may be. All right. Mhm. Cease and desist spending the money until she is passing the test that you putting out. All right. And so women play a lot of games, and it's like, you know, no woman, no cry. But if you are going to be around, these females and stuff while you are, then everyone wants something a little different. So you got to know what you're looking for, all right, and the type of chick that you looking for, and then so you can know how you supposed to put these tests and administer these tests, right? You may be choosing who you may be choosing who has chose you, all right, and you might not like this chick that much. But what's your criteria? And only give to women that you have control, or that's showing that they listening, that's showing some form of obedience and a lot of respect. All right. So you got to be a critical thinker in this game. You understand? You attract what you exude. So what's coming out of you, be that in which you attract. And don't care about the chick until she show you that you should. All right. And so this is a tough one. I know for a lot of you guys and stuff, but man, you can't put energy into something that is not going to be putting energy into you. Why would you do something like that? Cease and desist. Cease and desist from caring. Cease and desist from putting extra energy. And what I'm saying is, until you know that she like you know what I'm saying? Poker face, man. Everything. She might call you dry. Why you so dry? Why you acting like that? I'm good. And like, you know, um, be humorous still, you know. But as far as, you trying to butter her up or man, be romantic and all that stuff, man. That shit for the butters. Oh, guess what? Just said something about a podcast, and it's not a podcast that I'm doing, but I'm saying it's still under the lines, under the guise. See what I'm saying? So yeah, man, which is dope. So remember, all right, if a chick is being mean, you had an opportunity to dismiss yourself or be meaner. If a chick is being violent, uh, try first to dismiss yourself, first to get away. That's the first thing you try. But if she don't quit and show, then you're gonna have to show her what violence is. Like respectfully. If uh, they're on your property and they're being evil and destructive, you might have to administer some lead, around the vicinity to ensure that things subside and get peaceful, and you maintain the balance of peace, because we never want individuals to think, men or women, that they can exercise evil power, or be ratchet, or any negative thing that they may have the desire to be, because sometimes people get agitated with you for things that you may be doing, or things that you may be saying, but as long as they don't come in your area to do such, then you guys shouldn't have a problem But in the event that they do enter into your peace territory, your peace zone, they then violated the covenant that you um, pretty much put forth with them, and then you ensure that you um, proceed with with caution. So Mace, ooh, yeah, wow, yeah, man. Listen, um, all jokes aside, these things can become dangerous, and so even if it's a woman, man, and she's trying to hit you or hurt you, man, mace that bitch. You better mace that chick and get her up off of you. Now, you should have been dismissed yourself, but in a result that you can't, you can't let anybody hurt you or harm you, and so you have to ensure that you make it out in the end. So, that's what it is. Um, you know, if any individuals pull up on you and have not called you and let you know, let the dog out. You know what I'm saying? Like you send out a warning first. Hey, y'all, I can't get my. Sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. But you supposed to put a warning out. My dog coming. You know what I mean? After you already know. But hey, it's not funny. But don't. You gotta understand, man. You gotta protect yourself. Be crazy, man. I heard so many stories of things going left because they even entertained the conversation. So I'm not entertaining no conversation that was supposed to be had before you showed up where you're not supposed to be. All right, there are gonna be problems. Period. Uh, so keep quiet. Be strategic. Be brilliant. Do your research. Get them later with success. All right. Don't listen to her BS. Don't call. Don't text. You know what I'm saying? Be vicious on a lying trader. If they men or women, you have to be vicious. Shout out to Woody. You know what I'm saying? Woody is, they say he grew up in LD, and but guess what, man? Some of the individuals that's in LD, what they claim, have more sense than some of the individuals that are supposed to be more and so well esteemed. So don't ever, 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 ever be abusive. Don't try to abuse or be a bully on anybody. But protecting your peace is vital. So cease and desist on not checking a chick. You gotta cease and desist on that. Check that ugly duck, that fine ostrich. Don't let her family or friends try to talk down or bad on you, or you know, say calling, or coming, like as I said, out of schedule. If they didn't call, you better not pull up. They better not pull up. All right. If they didn't call you and say, hey, this is what it is, can we meet? As a matter of fact, don't pull up to my house at all. Don't pull up to my apartment at all. Don't pull up to my shack, my land, my pond, my swamp, because we Shrek on the bitch, right? So don't pull up to my swamp at all. Um, you let the it'd be better for you to meet me in the middle of the street over there on Street Lord Farquhar. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want you to do. But don't be trying to come meet me. Cease and desist. We're not checking the chick. All right. So if otherwise, be peaceful and avoid drama. And that's what I want you guys to do now. Oh no, this is for good. So that's my 3 pages, my 4 pages actually. There's one of them had some on the back. Now these other two, save these for the river walk, cause this is some of what Brother Shantae was saying. Now some of that was from Rosebud, and then y'all gonna get a dose of Brother Shantae when I get on the river walk today. So I love y'all. This is STEM Style coming with a cease and desist. All right, with part 1. All right, salutations, peace and blessings.